Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the boiling point where faith meets fire and truth burns through comfort. Silence is no longer an option. We're here to say the things that most people only whisper about with conviction, courage, and we're definitely going to keep Christ at the center here. I'm Brandon Lynette, host of Listen Bitch podcast and the best-selling author of Once Upon a Time Bitches. Unapologetic lover of Jesus, I will say that. Speak faith with a backbone and truth with a little bit of bite. So none of us were here to play small or stay silent. So if you're ready for bold conviction, here to bring the grit, the grounded truth, we've got a man's perspective from the trenches, his real talk for a world that has lost its spine. I'm joined by Rory, host of The Power of Man and the Wake Up the Lions, and a highly sought after podcast coach who knows how to speak the truth. If you're tired of politics poisoning your family's future and faith being pushed out of every single conversation, subscribe now. Subscribe, share this with your loved ones. We are holding the line and the lies accountable. Quick housekeeping, check the show notes for key links. If you're new here or deep in the anti-pharma rabbit hole, you're in good company. Don't miss the Omega Balance blood test. It is one of the most important health checks doctors never talk about. Test, don't guess. Views and opinions expressed on this podcast are our own. I will say that, and are shared for entertainment and informational purposes only. So nothing you hear on the show should be taken as professional or medical or legal or financial advice. Okay. We want to encourage you to do your own research and make informed decisions about everything we say. So all discussions, commentary, opinions provided are our personal perspectives. Okay. So yeah, none of us are going to assume liability if you're a dumbass when it comes to the content of the show. Okay. Hi, Rory. How are you today?
Better than I deserve, and your intro gets better and better and better every show, and the disclaimer does too. So
Yeah.
I
I'm getting
appreciate what you're
comfortable
bringing to
now,
to
so
the
it's
show.
it's fun. I'm
That's
getting
great.
comfortable. Y'all
That is great. Man,
congratulate Rory here because he just married off his beautiful daughter, his first daughter wedding, first and only daughter wedding.
that's right. I have three kids, two are boys, and this is my baby girl. So she's my
Yeah.
oldest. But yeah, it was tough. It was a tough couple of moments for the old man. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that very much. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. It was outdoors and the weather was beautiful. We were totally blessed. And, the guy that she's marrying is great. So
That's
as
so
a dad, you
awesome.
can't ask for more than that. That sounds good. So
I love that she probably literally had her dream day because every girl deserves that truly. So,
I think so. I think so.
yeah,
So yes.
good for her. Good for her. I offered the tissues to Rory, but I think he's all cried out. So, I think we'll be all right for the show today.
I told you it may take me till Tuesday to
Yeah.
finish crying, but I managed to pull it together. So I'm doing okay. It's Tuesday. We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
But it's tough because I married off my youngest son last year,
Yeah.
and just married my daughter off. This past weekend, and in less than 2 weeks, my remaining child, my other son, is getting married. So at that point, I'm going to be just probably a mental basket case. All my kids will be all married and gone, and working on grandkids, hopefully. So,
Right.
we'll see how that all
I would
pans out.
I'm so excited for you for the grandkid era. Like, I still have my youngest is 7. I still have her here, but I genuinely cannot wait to smell babies. I just can't. A lot of
Yeah,
people are addicted to drugs or alcohol or ridiculous things. I'm addicted to babies. Like,
I
that is
understand.
my, I mean, you want to get me in my weak spot, just hand me a baby.
Right. They
It's,
do definitely
it's,
have that smell. That's for sure.
oh,
Yeah. No, I know
everything
what you
about
mean.
them. I cannot wait. And it's
Yeah.
my babies, right? Like, I feel like I don't really like other people's kids, but my babies, and I know they're babies. I've loved their babies. I've prayed for their babies. I cannot wait. Like, I just am so, it is going to be probably like the greatest day of my life. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it because it's like they're your kids. And so you get
Yeah.
to really enjoy that sense of they are your kids, not somebody else's.
Yes.
And yet you're not getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning with them. So
Amen to
that's
that.
going to be my children's problem. They have to,
But
have to
I'm
deal with that.
excited. I am so excited. I didn't have that support, right? Like, I just have been, it's just me. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to give my girls a break. Like,
Right.
baby, let me help you out tonight. Like just I am just all of it. I'm
I hear you. I hear you. My
yeah,
wife and I are talking about, like relocating based on where all the kids settle, and based on who has kids. So it's,
nice.
we're sort of free at this point. Since
Right.
I get to do this for a living, I can do this from anywhere. So I can
Anywhere.
tune in with you. I don't have to be in Indiana, right, to
Right.
jump on a show with you. I could be in, Texas if I wanted to be.
Right.
So it's really kind of cool. But we'll see where they all land and who has
Well,
the
what
kids
are the
first.
talks about there about where they're going to go?
My youngest son just bought a huge house down in Indianapolis, so chances are he's not going anywhere for a while.
Okay.
But my oldest son just moved out to Colorado, so I have no idea. And my daughter's outside of Chicago, so it's kind of like, well,
Oh, wow. So you
let's see
guys
who
need a
has the kid first and see
vacation.
where
You
we end up.
just, yeah, you need a vacation home in Colorado because it is gorgeous there. Like, I don't blame him for going there at all.
Well, I just told him, hey, I'm sure it's beautiful, but I really can't move to what I know is a blue state like that
Oh,
through and
I
through.
know. And it's terrible
It
because
would make
my
me
dad's
crazy.
out there. My dad's out there and like even he's got some property. He in the middle of the San Luis Valley, like there is nothing there. It's just a desert. They still have to go by the laws now. Like if you build a house, you have to put in car chargers in your garage. Like dumb stuff just to build new properties and everything. It's not even worth getting. It's so disgusting. It's
That's so funny,
changed.
especially when you look at that one point, because
Yes.
they put that in place because the electric vehicle was their calling card, and the
Right.
guy who makes all the electric vehicles is someone that's their public enemy number one that they hate.
Yeah. Make it make
It's
sense.
they just can't make up their mind who they hate
No.
today.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
but yeah,
it's the internet is very silent today considering that there have been protests on protests on protests about a peace deal
hmm
across the water.
free Gaza, free Gaza,
Silence.
free
Like
Palestine. Yep.
I've not heard a word, but I will say, and I didn't want to start with this, you guys. I wanted to start with some good news. Maybe I should just do that. I do want to start with like something that I feel like is going to cheer us up, all of us. Um, I don't know if you guys have read about Aaron Spencer. It is an evolving story. And I didn't get to verify all the details because so many people have written so many things about it. But Aaron Spencer is a father and he's a military veteran in Arkansas. Fact, what I do know, October 2024, he shot and killed Michael Fossler, 67-year-old guy who already was facing serious charges like sexual assault, sex crimes of a child, stalking of a minor with the same girl, with his daughter. He finds his daughter in this guy's truck and went ahead and pulled the trigger.
hmm
So he's a hero. I'm not sure why they charged him with anything because, obviously he was charged with second degree murder. And then he had an enhancement on his gun, which I guess was a no, whatever. I think that should be his only deal. Like enhancement, let's fine him for that, right? Like let's hold him accountable for something. There's that. But he's running. He just announced his candidacy to be the sheriff of. It starts with an L, something county. I should have wrote it down. It's a county in Arkansas,
Right.
but he wants to restore trust in law enforcement and highlight system failures. The judge let him out on bond because he is not a threat to society. I want to hug the judge. Like that is so smart. He's not a threat to society.
Yeah.
He protected his kid. So, I mean, I want to congratulate him. I want to move to the county just to vote for him really fast and just come back here because that's the kind of sheriff I would want running my county.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I know why it's a story, of course, because apparently pedophilia is like, what are they calling it now? A life choice, life decision, something like that is what the Democrats are trying to say, that it's
Yeah,
actually okay. It's like an alternative lifestyle.
right.
and not actually a mental illness or a sickness or even a crime. And I just don't think that that's going to fly with 99% of Americans out there, just the ones who happen to be in front of a microphone and on television, unfortunately. So I hope the guy wins. I really do, because it would make the story really interesting,
Right.
to see, the public outcry and see the support he's got, and see how are they going to actually put this guy away if the entire area voted for him to handle their law enforcement.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what goes on. But
Yeah.
so I don't think we've heard the end of the story either.
No.
I think this is going to be one of those things that some odd things may happen because there are national influences that I think are very afraid of this guy actually winning and making this kind of a point,
Of
because this
course.
country's been on the cusp of vigilante justice for a long time. So, and that's not going to help. What that's going to do is push
Right.
us into that a whole lot more. So, and we have more guns than they do. So it's going to be interesting to
Yeah.
see where this all lands for sure.
And I think that's
But
exciting for our
yeah, great
listeners.
point, bringing
Yeah.
him up.
I mean, that should fire you guys up
I think so
that,
too.
there are people that think like you, that want the vigilante justice carried out. And there are people that actually handle their business. And it's funny because I'm looking up this story. So my algorithm kind of shifted and I ended up on this page of this guy from Alaska. Um, he calls himself the Alaskan something Avenger, the Alaskan Avenger. I end up on his page. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy, but cheers to him too. On some level, he ended up murdering his abuser, his I don't know if his father or stepfather, but he showed a picture today like that I saw. He's in the courtroom in his orange jumpsuit, handcuffed, smiling at his brother, and his brother smiling at him. And it was just that moment of like, I did this for us. I did this for us. They've been helpless since they were little kids. And this guy actually brought him and his brother peace. And he talked about that. He said it was cathartic. It was healing. It was everything we needed to know that I could protect myself and my brother for a system that failed them yet again. Then he
Hmm.
also carried out murders of other pedophiles, not related to him personally, and said it still gave him joy. So old Brandon, like 10 years ago, would have been like, oh, this is terrible. It's murder. You can't feel good about that. New Brandon, who finally has the blinders off, is like, that's totally justifiable. I get it. I get how that could feel cathartic. Not that anybody wants to go there, but leave our kids alone, man. Stop being a perv. Like nobody
100%.
wants to kill you. Just don't give us a reason.
There is not the support for this stuff.
No.
It's like the trans kids in sports. There just is not the support for that people think there is because of the manufactured campaigns on TV and on social media, where people are crying about the outrage, and everything else. There's no outrage about people being held accountable for their actions like this. Not in this country, not anymore. And so I think it's important to bring these things up and to point them out because people do need to know that the real stuff that's going on does actually matter. And,
Right.
and so, again, I'm glad you're bringing that stuff up because I think it's a great way to kind of get started, instead of just launching into everything that's wrong, right?
Right.
Not something that we want to, be dealing with, of course, but I do want to throw one thing in there, and maybe this is positive, but we are getting every week when we do the show, we get 1 week closer to the 60-day mental evaluation being completed for the guy who stabbed Irina, on the
Yes.
bus. And they gave him 60 days, hoping we would all forget about it.
Of
And so
course.
what we're doing and what I'm hoping a lot of other folks do, and if you have any kind of mic, if you have any kind of show, if you have any kind of platform, please do the same thing. Every time you go on, bring it up. Every time you go on, bring it up. Because 60 days from now, I want all of us paying attention when justice is either carried out and he's actually charged with first degree murder, point
Hmm.
blank, or he's let off with a slap on the wrist for the 15th time so he can go do it to somebody else because they are hoping that the news cycle absolutely forgets about this lady and this guy so they can let him out again.
Right.
Because they don't want this guy to have to face consequences for his actions.
Right.
And we can't forget that. So, I believe we're in week 2 of his 60-day evaluation. And I'm like, you know what? We need to keep track of this. We have 8 weeks, basically, right? In
Right.
60 days. So that's week 2. We have 6 weeks left to make sure we're reminding everybody about this. Every time I come on here, I want to make sure that we're saying that, hey, here we are. Don't forget about this guy.
Here's the
Keep your
date.
eye on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the date.
You guys, make sure you go to my Facebook page today because I will share her picture and just say we're not going to forget. And I'll put a countdown and share that.
There you go.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to make it political. You don't, we're just going to honor the life of a completely innocent girl who came here for safety and we disappointed her. We let her down.
Yep,
So
100%.
our silence has been complicity. There is a little bit of guilt on all of our shoulders because we have not stood up. The government, it is we the people. Okay. It is we the people. The government works for us. It is not the other way around. And I feel like we really have to stand up and speak out against that, and with everything coming, like I know there's going to be something going on in the media to brush it to the side because there always is. In fact, I question everything. I question everything.
I know you do.
And this, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anything. And I try to see just different sides of what's possible, even with our president. I try to just say I want to be hopeful about what kind of game he's playing. Do I know for sure? No. It's never going to be like 100%. Like I know that he's not bought and paid for. I can never say that like 100%
Right.
because, he does some really weird stuff. And, you know, waking up and seeing that he is the hero Israel needed, I feel like it made me a little sick to my stomach, to be honest. Like, I feel that discernment of just like Israel is not our friend right now.
I hear you. Let me throw a positive spin on that, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I'm with you. I want to question everything.
Yeah.
And the Israel Charlie Kirk connection is just undeniable at this point. We're going to find out a lot more about it. I know we're going to talk about it in future episodes as
Right.
more things come out. There are some very strong investigative journalists who are actually journalists who are looking into that very deeply and hard. So I think we're going to
Yes.
find out more. But when it comes to this thing, and, we wanted to talk about the peace accords, a little bit. Um, the one thing with any situation in the world is that very often there's a good guy and a bad guy in the situation. Okay. It doesn't
Right.
mean that they're 100% good. It doesn't mean that their other side's 100% bad necessarily. But in the situation, there's a right and there's a wrong. Kind of like with the presidential election we just had. You didn't have to like Trump. There's plenty of stuff that people don't like about Trump. That's
Right.
valid.
Right.
But oh my goodness, the alternative. You have to be kidding me. So you look at that, and there's a pretty clear good and evil, okay, between the two. And you don't have to like the person in any other context. When it comes to this, when you're looking at the Gaza and uh, why can I not think of the name of these folks? Hamas
Yeah.
and Israel. When you look at what was going on there and what was escalating to all these other countries, the part of the peace accords was the exchange of prisoners for hostages.
Right.
Okay. One side took over 100 hostages. Okay. And the other side had several hundred prisoners. Now, prisoners can be hostages too. It's all political. I get it. We're fine. So
Right.
there's this huge exchange as part of this peace agreement by releasing all these prisoners and then by releasing what was left of the hostages. All I need to see, though, to find out who the good guy and who the bad guy is in this particular scenario is that one side had 200 prisoners,
Yeah.
released them all. And when you say, well, how many of those prisoners that were taken died in custody? The answer is two. One was questionable circumstances. The other one was old age. When you look at the other side, you say, well, they had over 100 hostages
Right.
that were taken from an art music fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how many of them made it home? Less than half. All the other ones died while being held hostage.
Right. And the
So,
percentage of women,
oh goodness, that's going to come out as
yeah.
the time comes up, is what actually happened. Because, yes, almost all of the prisoners that were released from Israel were men. I think there were two women that were released that were criminals of some kind, according to Israel. And I'm willing to even give them that. Maybe they weren't, maybe it's political. But yeah, when you look at the number of women that Hamas was holding and the stories that are already coming out about what they had to endure
Hmm.
and the ones who died and how they died, this is going to be huge in the circles where it's allowed to become huge and where the truth's allowed to come out. So to me, it's really not that tough to do the math.
Yeah.
Look at how the women were treated and say who is the good guy and who's the bad guy in that situation.
Right.
So I guess that's kind of why I'm looking at it like, you know what? We finally got this part of it over with. There's a lot more to come. We all know this
Right.
piece isn't going to last very long. But
Right.
for now, there's a little ground zero and everything can de-escalate a little bit. And we need to get back to the bargaining table. You know,
Right.
and I think Trump is reaching out to the folks who were supporting Hamas, going, okay, this part's over. Now let's talk. You know, what's going on here? How are you supporting them, not us? What's the story? We'll
Right.
see where this all goes, but at least that part of it's over.
I see that. And thank you for that perspective because, I do know, I mean, it was sickening how many people were defending Hamas,
Hmm.
and it is the lesser of two evils, but I still I have just this gut feeling about Israel. And like if I was the devil and I wanted to deceive people, like it wouldn't be against Israel, I would hide behind it. I would
Right.
I would go right there
Yeah.
to ground zero because it's a covenant with his people there and you're twisting something sacred. Of course, this is there, and Christians have to stop being naive because the devil isn't going to be dressed in red with the pitchfork. He is that angel of the light. He's going to be beautiful, and we keep falling for these polished lies because we think it's holy. We think it's biblical. Don't talk about Israel. Those are God's people. It's not God's people we're talking about. It's the devil himself that wrapped himself up into the government. And while I do know China is and will be our biggest threat forever. Nobody talks about that. They are a huge threat to us, you guys. I've done military interviews. I've got friends in the military. This is a really big thing and it's coming. It's going to come to light. It's there's already talks about a war with them. So that is coming. So am I saying that Israel is our biggest thing? No, I'm saying the devil's wrapped up in it, you know? And we're not
Yeah.
supposed to blindly defend systems, you know? It's
Right.
it's as much as they're buying up things, as much as they have their hands in our media, they're getting into they're buying TikTok, which you guys, how much time are Americans spending on that stupid app? And how many
Right.
people are paid? I mean, people are literally paid thousands of dollars to post everything they want posted. So,
Yeah. Their
I
kind of
mean,
propaganda. Absolutely.
it's
So,
if if you're the devil and you want to deceive people, it's a perfect place to do it, and now we're dividing people even spiritually, which is crazy to me. Like Christians are just like, oh, what evil? No, no, no. It's
we've talked about that, but that's probably its own show,
yeah,
to just like dive into the entire thing. But the greatest trick the devil ever played, the
yeah,
greatest piece of spiritual warfare ever, is convincing Christians to fight amongst themselves, and we managed to do that all
yep,
of the time. But you're right, and you bring up a huge point, and that is because, while I'm talking about the right and the wrong in a situation, there's the right and the wrong on a much higher level that we all need to be aware of. And, there are factions out there that simply are promoting ideas and behaviors and things like that that are against the principles of, being a good Christian. And that's being warped and that's being diluted. very badly in the name of inclusion. And, Christianity was never meant for inclusion. Christianity was meant for something that needs to be worked for, and something that needs to be achieved. You don't just wake up and go, I'm a Christian.
Right.
You live the life of a Christian. You try to become a better person along the lines of, what makes a better Christian. These are guidelines for life. So if you're not following those and you're not reading the Bible and, you're voting for babies to get killed, well, then you're not a Christian. So I,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care about any other interpretation, but come on.
I mean, say that louder for my scared Christians, because you guys, it's not even about fear. It's common sense, you know? It's I hear these same Christians talking about, "Oh my gosh, revelations, it's the world is ending. God is coming for us." He's not coming for us because you and your preacher decided that, your daughter having an abortion is something you can accept, or, letting your son marry another guy in the church. Sorry. Like it is not inclusive. Like the devil doesn't get to show up at the gates and say, I identify as an angel and get in. Like there is no, there's pretty strict guidelines, but it's just common sense. It's common sense.
Yeah, that was
So,
good. That was really good. Identify as an angel. That was great.
I mean, that
That
people
took
are
me a minute
like,
too. I was like, what did she say?
you can't identify as a Christian and make it into heaven. You just can't.
Doesn't work. No. You want to be a furry? That's on you. But you can't just wake up and be a Christian. It just doesn't work
Right.
that way. So, yeah, 100%.
And
All right, what else you
it's
got?
so you brought up, um, I have to actually look it up again because I just read about this now, but the EU migration pact.
Oh,
And
yeah.
right away, so Roy says we're going to talk about this. I run to Google really fast, and the first thing I'm thinking is this is just part of the new world order. It is part
Yep,
of
I
that.
agree.
It is definitely part of that, but there's probably people listening like me that aren't educated about this stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about this migration pact and what's going on?
Absolutely. It's the European Union's newest little brainchild. And I do have some of that stuff here just to be able to explain the little pieces of it. The EU's Pact on Migration and Asylum from 2024 has gone into effect at this point, and it claims, and here's the headline for it. And like this was very much like that North Carolina law we talked about in our previous episode, where the
Right.
the law says, "Oh, getting tough on crime," and then you read it and you're like, "You're not getting tough on anything. What are you talking about?" The same thing happened with this. This is a press release, okay, for the EU to say, hey, we are getting tough on migration. We're going to help, Britain and Ireland and, France and all these places that are getting overrun. So it supposedly overhauls the EU's asylum and migration system by accelerating border screenings, creating a new, faster border asylum procedure, and introducing a mandatory and flexible solidarity mechanism for all member states. Now, if that word salad has any meaning to it at all, um, you can take it piece by piece quickly without wasting everybody's time. It's supposed to sound like they're cracking down. It's like Joe Biden saying, we're going to get tough on the border because I said we will. And so I'm going to appoint Kamala to go down and be the border czar. And that's the end of it. She goes once and she got tough. So that's the end of it. But nothing happened. So the same thing is going on here. Accelerating border screenings means they go faster. It means there's now a time limit for how long you can do a border screening with somebody. Um, Here's the thing, and again, I know a lot of guys on Border Patrol. If you accelerate the screening and it has to be done in a certain amount of time and it doesn't get done, then what? Well, they get released. So what it's doing is it's actually shortening the time that the same number of border agents and Border Patrol guys have to vet people. Wow, I feel safer already,
Yeah.
right? So the second thing that it does, and I lost it for a sec. Here we go. Got it back. The second thing it does is the improved border management, right? Now, strengthening the border by improving the Eurodac database to better manage irregular migration. That means they're connecting computers from country to country to try and track people who are coming over. The problem is not that they're going from France to Germany or from Ireland to Britain.
Hmm.
The problem is they're coming from, Pakistan
Right.
into these countries, and countries like that. The final thing that I'll bring up, because there's a lot of other gobbledygook to it, but it all goes down the same thing. But this is the biggest one, is that there's going to be a shared cost with all of the European Union members to help all of the countries that are getting just inundated with migration so that they can help with the migration. Now, two things. First, the help with the migration is not to get more Border Patrol or help deportation. The help is to house them and feed them. So all the countries in the EU now, even if they don't have a border problem, they're going to send money to Britain and Ireland so that the migrants who are already taking over can now have better housing and better food and better free stuff. And
Right.
Poland, who is the only country over there who has a strong policy on their border, said, if you push this and force us to do this, we're leaving the EU.
Right.
And after all the pleading, they finally said, then we're out. And so the EU came together and said, we really can't afford to lose Poland. Let's just give them an exemption from this. They won't get any
Right.
help from us, but we won't expect anything from them. And
Right.
so Poland got an exemption from all of this because it was so bad. It's so horrendous. And it's being put out there as if, like the law in North Carolina was, look at this cool thing we just did.
Right.
And you're reading it going, oh my God, they just made it worse. They really just made the whole situation worse all throughout Europe. What are they doing?
Right.
So you're going to, I mean, if the Civil War wasn't coming, it is now. There's
Right.
these countries are just blowing up. I
And
can't believe
that's,
this.
I mean, it is coming. There was a plan to destroy Trump and kind of put the United States into that full-blown communism, really one world government. That
Hmm.
is the goal. And it's
Oh yeah.
active. It's active. It is happening. Um, it's what's scary to me is that I feel like we've got a lot of people in the Pentagon and globalists who do favor the one world government. So one person can't take this down. They can't take it down. And not just with this. I mean, this secret global cabal, okay, with the bankers, the politicians, occult elites, like they all want that one world government, the digital
Hmm.
cashless digital economy, mass surveillance. Okay. They want to control the narrative for everything, what you get to see, and what you're doing, how you're spending your time. I pulled up a list of people that already have that digital ID. And this should terrify you guys because we've got Estonia, India, Singapore, Sweden, Germany, Finland, Italy, UK, Ukraine, China, Papua New Guinea, Jordan, all of these people already on. And that is a quick search. That I didn't even go deep. I'm sure there are so many other places that are here that are doing this. And I mean, is the Bible telling of this? There is, you know, there has been a final empire and a deceptive ruler that have been described that is demanding the global allegiance. So, spiritual reality. Like we can't pretend this isn't possible. We can't pretend that isn't their goal because it's literally in the book. And any empire becomes that beast when it worships the control and is rejecting the truth. And what is everybody trying to do right now? They're worshiping the control. I don't know. It's one person can't take this down.
The Sweden, Finland, Norway thing brings up a
Yeah.
huge point and a huge angle to this. Those countries go along with things like like the the digital ID and with the world currency and all that because they don't have problems there.
Yeah.
They're very peaceful countries that people aren't attacking. They don't have migration issues. You know what I mean? You don't have Muslims who are saying, "I want to head up to Sweden," necessarily. right? Because they've
Right.
always had strong policies and because it's cold there. So they don't really
Right.
want to go.
Right.
But the government's never been really open to that kind of thing. But they get this passed through because they can't imagine somebody acting badly with it.
Right.
And they're like, well, nobody would ever do that. You know, in the United States, we're the one country that goes, yeah, they would.
Yeah.
And when they do, when you do get a bad actor who's in charge and they do implement this in a bad way, then where are you? It's convenient now, but what happens when it's abused? Because our country was founded on that. Our
Right.
Constitution was written because a king abused his power on us as colonists all
Right.
that time ago. So we are from that line of thinking. Nobody else in the world really is. And that's why we always have to lead the way. So the fact that we are turning back my immigration the way we are is huge for the rest of the world because we have to keep setting the example. If
Right.
we had lost the election and it had gone the other way, we would be the leading country in showing how bad things can get and how
Right.
quick it can happen. And I think the world would have toppled by now to this whole thing.
Right.
But we didn't. We fought back, and now they're all going, oh, so we don't have the United States, and now they're leading the way. And now people across, Europe are going, hey, let's follow, what the United States is doing. They're starting to lose that control again.
Right.
So here comes the, migration pact.
Right.
We're going to force you one more time with another globalist law
Yeah.
that says you have to. So the best part about that pact is the last piece, which actually says that it actually is a human right for every immigrant to be able to seek asylum in another country, no matter what. So they legalized illegal immigration
Yeah.
through this pact. And that's going to come out at some point. But for right now, I'm not sure everybody really has read it and realized it, which is nuts.
And silence is complicity here. So you
Yep.
guys are getting the information to be able to share in real time. Silence is complicity. So this is something that you should have people talking about. That you should I had no idea about this. Even I'm learning stuff in real time. But this is stuff that we need to be aware of. And when you're at the polls or, making decisions, when whatever it is that you're doing, like this stuff needs to be knowledge. It needs to be something that you can take into consideration for what's happening. So whether or not we believe, both sides politically are just two wings of the same bird, are we, is that what they say?
It's
I don't know.
one of the things they say. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Whether or not you
Sure.
believe that, there are still policies that matter. And I tell you guys, like, you have to vote on the policies, on the common sense, on the things that are going to keep you the closest to Christ.
Yeah. 100%. Amen.
Because no matter what, I mean, this is a spiritual battle. And it's not, one man isn't going to do it for us, you guys. That's We have Jesus. He did everything we needed to do, but now we just need to act accordingly and do good works, you know, to be able to honor what was done for us. And watching the world be taken over by elites and elites being able to say what you can and can't do with your money and your time and your knowledge and everything, being controlled to that point was not the human experience that we signed up for when we came here. We, most of us, we just wanted to come here and have the emotions, and we knew we could remember who we were when it comes to God's calling on our lives. We knew we could remember who we were meant to be and the impact we were meant to have here. We didn't sign up for the crazy train, but the devil is out there. He got free reign to be able to do what he does, and we know he uses truth in everything he does. So of course he's deceitful, and he's beautiful, and he's smart. He's smart. So you need to find some awareness and some discernment and really call yourself out biblically. Like, if you have questions about stuff or you feel weird about things, like find the truth in the Bible. It's always there. That's what keeps people grounded. I feel like I could go crazy with conspiracies and lose myself in this stuff. But it's very simple to take it back to the Bible. It makes it less scary because we already know what's going to happen. We have to make the best of what we can do here, and we're called to be an influence. As an American, you get to live in the greatest country ever, but that means we have to do the right thing to be able to guide other people honestly to Christ. And I just all of this stuff. It can be terrifying, but God called it. New world order coming at us.
Well said. Very well said. Amen. Love that. 100%.
I mean, we're in it. We're in the arena, you guys. We're in the arena. And the news isn't going to stop newsing, and they're not going to stop picking and choosing what they want you to see. They're going to be covering up everything and trying to control a narrative because that I mean, I realized today, like even just when we started the podcast talking about this guy, Aaron, it just changed my algorithm, and I'm shocked about how many people there are out there standing up for this and not just I couldn't imagine something happening to my kid and just sitting back and watching the court system let a criminal out and have access to my kid again. Like that doesn't sit right with me. It's not okay. So this guy is like, all right, I'm going to be the change that I need right now. So get in there and change the systems. Maybe you never thought of politics. Maybe you never thought of running for office or doing anything like that. Well, things are changing. I feel like people are being called that didn't even know it was going to be in their wheelhouse because we need real people like Aaron Spencer to come in and flip the script from the inside out, like real soldiers, you know? But that's just me. It's silence is complicity, y'all. So speak up, get crazy about stuff. World needs common sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. You want to bring it home? You got something else you want to throw in there?
No, I think if we do, my brain is already. I feel like I've said it all. Just this we're in the battle of good and evil, and the devil exists. That's I can't say it more plainly, but
Yeah.
we the people.
Love that. Absolutely 100%. I love that we keep talking about how silence is being complicit because it's so
Yeah.
important for people to hear that. We talked about just in closing here, we talked about the TPUSA, halftime thing. Right.
Oh, right.
And I just wanted to throw that in, maybe with a closing thought. You got a thought on that before we like wrap with that?
I mean, so my husband actually asked me about that today. He's like, "What the hell is going on with Bad Bunny? Who even is that?" And you guys understand it's not the NFL that runs the halftime show. It's Jay-Z actually runs and controls he hires the people. Like he's the boss of this. I don't know how that happened, but it's been since like 2018 or something like that where he is the boss applesauce. And we all know he's sold out. He's evil. He's in the pedophile rings. He's in the bullshit. Okay. He's Holly weird, evil, corrupt. Like he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. Um, so yeah, why wouldn't he hire a cross dresser who is somewhat anti-American? And he's American. Like, but he's very much like, oh, the world has how many weeks do we have to learn Spanish? I forgot. He gave us a warning though. Like the United States has X amount of days to learn Spanish. Well, yeah, it's never been about that. He's an FU to what's going on right now. He's an FU to every conservative out there. That's all it was. It's just an FU. So, but I did see a little bit. I don't know the details, but I did see that they're creating their own halftime show and they're already selling out.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I think that's part of the thing that I wanted to kind of wrap up with was, the NFL doesn't necessarily have control over this, but they can if they want to. The NFL has enough power. They have enough
Ah,
money, they have enough clout that if they made a point of it, they could change anything having to do with their product. They're hiding behind the agreement that's saying, this isn't us, we didn't make the choice, but they're endorsing it by doing nothing about it. And that's why I was leading into it with what you're always saying, being
yeah.
silent is being complicit. And the NFL has one of the biggest hammers in the world, okay, because they just have that viewership, they have that influence, they are international with their product. Um, if they said we don't want this guy at the halftime show, he would not be at the halftime show, but they won't. And
The
so
NFL just said F you, America.
they did. And I've been so disgusted that I've actually been like sort of boycotting the NFL on my own. I really can't bring myself to watch it, which is a shame because, I've loved football my whole life.
Football is life. Yeah.
It has been, yeah. But it's been so disgusting to see this that, as a people, one thing that we can do to send a message to the NFL and to the producers and everybody else is to literally boycott the halftime show. If you're not going to boycott football and you're not going to boycott the Super Bowl, because I already know you're not gonna, okay? I may even cave and watch the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is that we do not have to even have our televisions on for the halftime show. And so what I'm going to be pushing every single chance I get on every show I have is, and I hope other people do too, and I have heard some others doing this, is turn off the television at halftime. Don't allow your feed to get picked up at any Nielsen rating on any cable network, whatever
Mhm.
you're plugged into across the world. Turn it off. Get on your computer, get on your phone, tune into Turning Point USA, watch their halftime show, make their numbers go up, make the NFL halftime show numbers plummet. And that is going to be the best message you can send to these people because there are a lot of ads during halftime and leading up to halftime and coming back from halftime. And those advertisers are not going to be happy.
Right.
So now you're hitting somebody with millions and millions and millions, if not billions of dollars. The NFL will pay attention to that. And that's something that we can actually control as a group of human beings. So you know what? Turn your television all the way off, get on your phone, watch TPUSA's halftime,
Yep.
and then turn it back on and watch the second half. Small thing to do. And don't pollute your brain and your family and everything else with that crap that's going to be coming across your screen.
And have the balls to tell other people. So it's not like we're
Absolutely.
telling you in a secret whisper to turn off your TV during the halftime show. We're telling you and we're putting a calling on you to be able to tell other people. Like,
Yep.
hey man, we should just turn this off. Your Super Bowl parties, make sure it's turned off. And it will send a message. I mean, we've proven the people have proven what happens. Go woke, go broke. We've
Yes.
done it. We've made an impact. So I'm happy taking some money out of some elites' pockets and embarrassing the NFL. And you're right, we haven't really been a part of it since the whole kneeling thing and these bougie football players that get paid to entertain us talking about they can't kneel for God because of what? We've been done for a very long time, but we catch highlights, we catch games, we get pulled into it. Are we going to turn on the Super Bowl? I mean, I hope not. It's tempting, right? We're it's we're human, you guys. So
Right.
I get it. If you're going to watch the game, absolutely give them nothing. And curiosity killed the cat. If you want to know who Bad Bunny is, just search him up on YouTube right now. Give his page some hits. You're going to put money in his pocket, which I don't think he deserves, but don't let your curiosity on Super Bowl come out.
Right.
Just
Right.
watch the replay later if you're really that curious. They will replay the highlights and not get as many credits,
I
Watch it
love that.
on someone's going to record it on their phone and post it on YouTube and you can watch it later. So I get it. Curiosity. We watch the train wreck. Everybody wants to see the train wreck. Is he going to be dressed like a girl? What's he going to be doing? Is he going to do the whole show in span? I get it. We are a curious people, but this time, like, let's just pause. We don't need that immediate answer. You'll get to see what he's about eventually. Let's support Charlie Kirk's channel. And there's a
Amen.
good lineup. I saw it and I'm like, wow, this is going to be good.
I think it is going to be good. There's a lot of rumors about who's going to be in it, but I
Yeah.
really think you're going to see something very strong happen in response to this. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
supporting it. And like you said, don't just do it, but tell people you're doing it.
Tell people.
Yeah, and be accountable,
Yep.
for your beliefs and for taking care of your family and your community with this. So
And if you really need support, if someone hurts your feelings, if someone calls you names, you really need support, y'all could jump in my inbox and I'll just tell you don't be a pussy. It's not a
call
big
Brandon.
deal.
Call
Like
Brandon.
I've been called all the things, you guys, and I'm still okay. Like it hasn't affected me, it hasn't affected my life. It's name calling's okay.
Yep.
So,
Bless, block, delete.
yes, very simple. Very simple. Or put them on blast and embarrass them because there's a
Awesome.
lot more of us and I will have your back. So 100%, right? We don't tolerate the bullies, the uneducated crybabies. Like we're not a fan of that. We don't entertain it. And honestly, like it's powerful to not let them know that they get to you. I feel like that hurts them more. They want a reaction. They want you upset. They want you, you know, they want to get you. So I'm one of those. It doesn't affect me. Can't give them the power, you guys. But yeah, be brave about this. Like have the conversations and I'm glad this is on your radar. So Arena and Super Bowl, we're going to keep you guys on a time clock. Um if you're not already following our socials, make sure you do because I know Rory puts out his podcast there a lot and yeah, I post all the stuff you're afraid to because you don't want to be called names. So it's out there. If you need to know what's going on, we'll do an arena countdown for sure. But yeah, we're boycotting at least the halftime show.
Nice. Nice. I think we're good.
Yes.
All right. Um, Loved it. Absolutely loved it. More next time. And definitely love the countdown idea. We got to keep that going.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I agree.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Love you. Be good. Talk to you soon.
Love you guys.